Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So today's episode on Honest J. Nowak, I know, it may seem really disgusting at first, and wow, YouTube could end up demonetizing me, or even worse, they could put an age restriction on here, even though there's nothing even close to matching up with the criteria of having to put an age restriction on in the first place on any of my videos. And so I find that to be a completely useless and pointless way to go here. So I might as well just throw that out the window and go along with the episode, because I already hit the record button and it's been more than 46 seconds going. So today's topic is going to be vomiting. Yes. A somewhat rare occurrence for most people out there, but depending on what happens in your body and depending on what condition you might have within you, permanent or temporary, vomiting is one effective way that the body tries to clean itself of any foreign materials or toxic, harmful, vile substances or pathogens that could literally put you to sleep permanently. But, of course, even more so, there's diarrhea. I don't know. I might at least consider putting another episode's worth of HGN about that topic, but going back to vomiting, in my point of view, I do happen to view vomiting as a very, very effective way to prevent yourself from getting much more sick than you need to. Because, after all, it is your body's job, regardless of what function it is, to literally get rid of whatever is in your system, anything that could be harmful or toxic to you. Vomiting is just one of several different ways that the body can really rid itself of certain malicious pieces of organic matter. But to begin with, a few of my stories about vomiting itself of my own accord happened to really come about, so I feel like that I should at least iterate that. The last time I ever had vomiting come up alongside me was back in June of 2017. Nearly 3 years have passed since then, and to this day I cannot really stress it enough. I was infected with a certain range of the bird flu. During a family reunion, that is, because there were, in fact, a few family members that were pretty sick, but they still got around and literally attempted to engage with the rest of us. But for me personally, how I could have gotten the bird flu was from a certain family member who ended up giving me a hug just before I ended up going to bed for the evening. And around 5 a.m. the next morning was when, well, of course I was very sick to my stomach, so I mean, I had to go to the restroom to relieve myself, but eventually, within an hour or two, that's when the vomiting started, and I immediately knew that it was some sort of flu-related pathogen that had entered my system and started to, well, infect me with certain viral-related infections, so, of course, that was actually a really good thing to do. My body just literally pulled the plug on my stomach's functions and just went up about, spew everything onto the floor to the bed. That was kind of embarrassing for me. I mean, that was a lot of vomit that I just got rid of all over the rug, and I mean, it got on some of my stuff. I mean, that was kind of stupid. But you know what? It kind of got worse from there. The more disgusting it will be later on, so I pretty much just, I can't stress that enough. Do not view this stuff if all you're going to do is just react to it in some way. You've been warned. So, yeah. Eventually, the hours went by throughout the day, and the rest of the morning was kind of a really, really big problem. I was vomiting all the time, I was involuntarily urinating and defecating at the same time, and that was actually because I guess the vomiting had something to do with pushing other substances out of my system. I mean, it was unpredictably bad for me. I was just making messes left and right with the vomiting and diarrhea, so much so that, well, I mean, it got pretty bad. But you know what? The bird flu definitely didn't last very long, and within about 2 to 3 days, I was able to completely recover from that pathogen. But I am dead serious. Dead serious. If you don't want to view this stuff, then I suggest that you go click away because, well, one last thing about it. I actually liked it. And I'm not kidding around. Not even a touch of it. No kidding at all, whatsoever. Done. Finito. So, that's just pretty much what I got here. Story about vomiting and all that good stuff. So, that's just all that I got to talk about for that point in time. But my close-up to the camera should have been a very good focal point for the fact that if you're not wanting to view this kind of stuff or listen to any of this kind of stuff, then, well, just click away. Click away. That's all I got to say about that. But anyways, this is Honest J Nowak, and, well, of course I will move on to other subjects that are hopefully not as horrible as something like this that had happened to me in the past, but my honesty still subsides, even with all of this stuff going on. My honesty will continue to abide forever and ever. So at this point in time, let's just consider the fact that this is something that just happens. Vomiting is something that people do. So let's not get all crazed up and riled up about thinking that I'm the bad guy here. Sorry, Billy. But anyways, if you want to see more going on my channel, then, well, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.